Here's wishing every Indian out there a very, very, very happy Republic Day 2021. Hello people, this is Sonali, the Melodramatic Bookworm. If you've been here before, welcome back, and if you're new to my channel, welcome to the Melodramatic Bookworm family. I'm here today to talk about the Indian authors on my TBR. Either I've acquired the books of these authors recently or they have been on my TBR for such a long time that I thought, okay, now I have to put this in a video so that I actually go and read them, because you know my reading style, would you call it? And I tend to do a lot of setting TBRs and then not following them, or I'm a huge mood reader and that's what happens most times. Because in my almost 3 years of being on Booktube, I have never made a TBR and then completely finished all the books that I mentioned in those videos. It just happens. But the authors on this list, they are Indian authors from my own country, and I'm really excited to read them, to get a new perspective on the land that I've been living in since I was born. And some of the authors on this list I'll definitely be reading this year for sure, because I've added a couple of them to my 21 books I want to read in 2021 list. I mean, that's not the only reason, but you get my point. But I am really excited to read these authors. So without any further ado, let's get into this video. Let me share with you the Indian authors on my TBR who I'm really excited to read. First on this list is an author who I feel like came back into the public eye last year after the Netflix series was released, A Suitable Boy, and the author I'm talking about is Vikram Seth. And I know that probably he had never gone out of public eye, but in the places that I could see, I saw his name popping up a lot after A Suitable Boy came out, and I'm super excited to read his works. And I was so excited, I couldn't wait that I went and bought it in December. The book is here, if you can see it. This is the book, and I don't know if I will actually read it this year, but he is on my TBR. I think A Suitable Boy is sort of a generational story kind of thing, a story of multiple generations, and there are love stories in there are stories about family and so much more. At least that's what I've interpreted from whatever I've seen of it. But I've heard a lot of good things about Vikram Seth's writing, and I am very eager to dive into it, but I'm also very intimidated because that book is like 1500 pages long, and I don't think I have the energy to actually give it that much time, because there are so many other tomes on my 2021 TBR as well. But that does not mean that I'm not looking forward to reading it, because I really want to. Only thing is that I need to be in that headspace to actually think that, okay, now I'm going to start it and go forward from there. The next author on this list, and one who I'm super excited to read, is Jhumpa Lahiri. And I actually read The Clothing of Books. I think it was in 2019 that I read it, and I really loved it. That's a non-fiction, but I'm so excited to jump into her fiction works, and I've heard so many amazing things about it. And when people hear that I have not read The Namesake, they're like, you should read it because it's that amazing. I mean, they are very kind about it. They are not snobbish when they say that. But I was so excited to read The Namesake that I added it to my 21 books in 2021 list, and I am really going to read that book because I am on this warpath for 2021, okay, that I really want to finish the 21 books that I set myself as a yearly TBR. So I'm going to get there. The Namesake I'm definitely going to read, and I wouldn't call it a problem, but I feel my spirit for The Namesake was a little dampened because now I know what happens at the end of the book. I mean, not the complete story per se, but there's one significant incident that I know I've been spoiled, and that was because I was reading a biography of Irfan Khan, and the author, he spoiled it in that. And I'm like, why would you do that? But even so, I'm still excited to read The Namesake. I also have 2 of her other books on my TBR. One is Unaccustomed Earth and the other is The Lowland, and Her works I am definitely jumping into this year, and if I happen to make one such video again next year, then I'm definitely sure that she will not figure on this list because I will have read her works by then. Next author on this list is Jeet Thail, and I have two of his books on my TBR. One is The Book of Chocolate Saints and the other one was Narcopolis, and I've heard amazing things about both books. While The Book of Chocolate Saints is classified as domestic fiction, and it was nominated for the JCB Prize 2018. I think it was shortlisted as well. I'm not really sure on those details. But his debut novel was Narcopolis, which was nominated for the Booker Prize, and I am so excited for to read it. I've had that book for over a year now, more than a year. I don't even remember when I bought it. I think it was 2019, I think mid 2019. But ever since then I haven't had that pull towards that book. I don't know why, but now when I sat down to make this list, I was like, this sounds really interesting. Why have I not read it? And I feel like that is the case with all of my TBR, and it's staring at me. Next author on this list is Koral Dasgupta, and I have had her book Ahalya. I have had this book for months now, and I've been adding this book to a number of TBRs, and I ended up not reading it for some reason, but I'm really excited to read it because whoever I've seen talk about this book on Instagram, they have had only good things to say about this book and about Koral Dasgupta's writing and how she spins a different perspective into the tale of Ahalya, Sage Gautama's wife. And I really want to say that I'm really excited to read this because it's true, but I have said it before and I have not followed up on it, so I don't know. But this is one author that I really want to check out and I really want to read. Next author on this list is Hansda Soumendra Shekhar, and he has won the Sahitya Academy Award in 2015, I think. He is a medical officer in Jharkhand, and he has written the collection of 10 short stories called The Adivasi Will Not Dance. And I have heard that his writing is powerful and political, and it packs a different punch every time you read it. And I was really looking forward to reading this last year, but it did not happen. But I thought maybe it was for the best because Nandini and I have a short story read along going for the entire year this year, and I thought I could read this book for that read along, and I am really excited to read it and to bring the two together. The short story read along is called Long and Short of It, and also please go check out the announcement posts on both of our profiles. But I kept putting this off for so long that I finally went and added this to my 21 books in 2021 list, and now I'm definitely going to read it, and I'm definitely going to start exploring Hansda Soumendra Shekhar's writing because I've heard that he brings you in touch with your own Indianness, with your own roots, and I am a huge fan of that. Next author on this list is Anuradha Roy, and I don't have anything much to say about this author because I have never tried her works and I've never heard or actively looked out for what her works are actually about. And I have two of her books on my TBR. One is All the Lives We Never Lived, and the other is Sleeping on Jupiter. All the Lives We Never Lived is a historical fiction novel that was published in 2018, I think, and it was shortlisted for the JCB Prize that year, if I'm not mistaken. And Sleeping on Jupiter is a literary fiction which was published in 2015, and it was longlisted for the Man Booker Prize that year, and it won the DSC Literary Prize the following year in 2016. And I know that all these awards and all are not benchmarks for whether you will like a book or not, but I just thought I would put it out there, and with the hope that I actually end up liking it and it does not turn out like another Mustache, because Mustache won the JCB Prize last year and it was my least favorite of the lot of the shortlisted books. The next Indian author on my TBR is Manav Kaul. Manav Kaul is an actor par excellence, if I might say. And he's also an author, and I've heard brilliant things about his writing. Let me show you. I have his book here. Excuse me. Yes. बहुत दूर कितना दूर होता है. And Manav Kaul writes in Hindi, and I actually started reading this book. I'm just a few pages in, and I really love the way he writes, and it's very lyrical, it's very poetic while being very colloquial. Does that make sense? I have no idea, but he writes beautifully is what I'm trying to say. And I'm really excited to dive more into his works. And I must say that I have a feeling that Manav Kaul's writing is going to be as beautiful as the way he acts, if not more. He is a phenomenal actor, but I've also heard amazing things about his writing, and there are people who actively recommend his books. If you read Hindi literature, then they say that this is a book that you should not miss out on, and I'm all for it. And I somehow have the feeling that Manav Kaul is going to be a writer, an author who I'm not going to give up on. And I don't want it to happen, but if I end up not liking a book, then I feel like I'm not going to say I'm not going to read Manav Kaul anymore. I'm going to just keep trying. I don't know why. I'm not a huge fan of doing that per se, but this guy is someone who I feel like I want to do that for. Am I just, starstruck or something? The next author on this list is Kaveri Bamzai, and I've had her book No Regrets, The Guilt-Free Woman's Guide to a Good Life for a long time. I've had this for 1.5 years, I think. I'm not sure when exactly I bought this, but it's been here and I haven't yet read it. And let me be honest with you, the only reason why I added this author to this list is because this book sounds so interesting. Look at the cover. Like, this book is trying to say that all those ideas about what women are supposed to do should be in the past. Don't bring it here. Become more open-minded and realize that women are people too. And that is why I'm really excited to read Kaveri Bamzai's books. I think Kaveri Bamzai, she is a well-known journalist, and I think who better to write about all of this than a well-known female journalist. The next author on this list is Sai Swarupa Iyer, and she writes a lot of mythological fiction and that kind of books, and her book Draupadi, The Tale of an Empress, has been on my TBR for a while now, and I think a few months, and I have not been able to get to that book, but I am really excited to read her work. I've heard only good things about Sai Swarupa Iyer's writing, and I love how all of her books seem to bring a woman main character to the front, to the center, and make them go on adventures and tell about their life journeys. And I love seeing that perspective, if you don't already know, because I love writers who bring out those nuances into known and unknown female entities, and that's why I'm really excited to read Sai Swarupa Iyer's works. I have only one book on my TBR, but I somehow am sure that I'm going to go and get more of her works. I don't know when, but it's going to happen. The next Indian author on this list is one who has written a series that I have added to the series I want to read in 2021 list, but I also know that I might not be able to get to these books, but I'm okay with that. But somehow I know that sometime I will read them, and the author I'm talking about is Amitav Ghosh, and the books on my TBR are the Ibis trilogy and The Great Derangement. The Great Derangement is about climate. I think it's a non-fiction book, and it talks about how climate change is affecting the world. And the Ibis trilogy is a historical fiction trilogy, and I'm really excited for it, although I don't know if I will be able to read the series this year. Hoping I'll read it, but I'm not sure. And I'm not going to beat myself up over it because I have the books and I can read them anytime I want. The next author on this list is an author I had never heard of until I got one of his books as a gift from Nandini, and that author is Amitabha Kumar, and the book is Writing Badly is Easy. This is a book that I will be reading this year so that I can improve my writing. And Amitabha Kumar is an author who I was unfairly surprised to see that he is the author of multiple books before this, and I was like, why have I not heard this before? And if this book and author recommendation is coming from Nandini, then it's given that I am going to like it. 99% of the time that's what happens. And because of that, I am so excited to dive into Amitabha Kumar's writing, and what better than to read a book about writing by him first than any other book. The last author on this list is Nisha Susan, and her debut book, which is a collection of short stories, which will also work for long and short of it, so I'm really happy about that. But her book, The Women Who Forgot to Invent Facebook and Other Stories, came out last year, and I am really intrigued and interested and excited to read this, because I'm somehow sure that the magnificence of this cover is going to translate into Nisha Susan's writing, and I'm all for it. I'm here for it, and I want to start reading this, but I will have to see in which of the yearly prompts this will actually fit in. So if you want to know what I'm talking about, long and short of it is a year-long read along that Nandini and I are hosting on Instagram. You can go to our profiles. There's a highlight on each of our profiles for long and short of it, and we have all the details available over there. So those were the 12 Indian authors on my TBR that I am really excited to read. Which of these authors have you read? Which ones do you highly recommend? I know Jhumpa Lahiri and I will be reading it, but other than that, which of these authors do you really want me to prioritize? And who is your favorite Indian author? Which Indian author are you most excited to read? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. If you like this video, please like it and share it to spread the word. And if you like my content and would like to see more from me, don't forget to hit subscribe and click on the bell icon beside the subscribe button to get notified as and when I post new videos. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Until next time, keep reading, keep watching, and add melodrama to your life.